Yo, what's up guys? My name is Pwn. I wanted to talk about something that's going on around here, something that's very, very popular where I'm from. I'm going to give you guys a rundown if you guys kind of do not know what the Duck Dynasty is. It's a show on the television channel called A&E. It's basically a family, a group, the Robertsons, that go about being silly, goofy, funny. It's a reality live TV show for a company that creates and develops duck calls, duck decoys, things for hunting, for example. And there's been a little bit of controversy because their head guy there in the family, the big daddy, the patriarch, he expressed his views on homosexuality and religion, bestiality, racism, and all that stuff recently in a magazine article. And the channel, the A&E channel, basically was like, no, you're banned. That's kind of what happened. They told him that he couldn't participate in the show anymore, and he's going to have to take a back seat. But again, this is an old school Louisiana redneck family, and nothing gets between the way of family. It's exactly how it gets. So, thus creates this major impasse. Basically, the channel, do not want to be known as somebody that supports people that have his views on the world, that homosexuality is wrong, Christianity is almighty, and everything like this. So I wanted to give my opinion on both of them in the same video. High five! Watch out for that comment section. It's gonna get tight. So, I want to talk to you guys about this. And I'm going to defend him, and I'm not going to defend him. And it's because I respect the man for speaking up for what he believes in. And I will always do that, because it's in our rights to do that. And though I may not agree with what he says, I will protect him and defend him because he has the right to do that. I think, though, even though it is stupid, if somebody wants to be racist, they can be racist. And I know that probably just threw you for a loop, and it's because we're educated to think certain ways about certain topics. Think of racism, for example. Racism is, in fact, by definition, the belief that all members of each race possess characteristics or abilities specific to that race, meaning they're different, for you to distinguish it as inferior or superior to another's race. So what it's saying is it's basically noticing the difference between two people and assuming that one is better than the other. So when people think racism, that's what it really means. But when we hear racism, we think of violence, we think of hate crimes, we think of way back like slavery. I mean, there are different words that trigger our mind, and that's because of the movies we watch, the media we listen to, and we just naturally think, oh my god, if I was to say that guy right there is racist, you're probably like, oh, he beats black people on the side. You know, that's just where your mind goes. It's just naturally how we think. But that does not mean that. That does not mean that person's a racist. That means he's a racist, but he's also a violent fucking sociopath. So there is something else behind it. Somebody can be a Christian, but still be okay with the person. This guy made a comment saying, you know, comparing bestiality and homosexuality and saying it's wrong. But do I think for a second that this man, if somebody was injured on the side of the road, he looked at him and saw he was wearing nail polish and he's going to be like, oh no, I'm going to let you get hit by that car? No. We are all people. And you got to understand that there's compassion, there's love in the world, and you can disagree with somebody's choices or lifestyle, but still respect them enough to be people. You may look down on it, you may think something is wrong, but there is no proof behind your theory. I for one, think homosexuality is not, I can't say normal, I can say it's not natural. I've been given a key, my wife has a hole, that's how you get in the door. That's what happens. Babies come from that. That was meant to be. So when you got two keys going at it, it's going to make a lot of noise, and it just doesn't seem right. At the same time, you see two girls going at it, and you got two keyholes, and it's just really awkward. So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there were things that were meant to be together, but I'm not going to say anything bad about them, because I have a lot of homosexual friends. I was actually part of a GSA, which is what they call a gay-straight alliance, and I know it sounds kind of weird. We didn't have, like, a handshake or anything, but I was a part of this in high school. And the reason I was a part of this was not because they were gay or not because I supported their lifestyle, but because I was okay around them because they're people. They are people, but the reason I was with them is because I saw how other people treated them. I was there to help them out, to spread awareness, to let people know that it's okay to be gay. Now, there are lots of hurdles in the way. People may look down on it, get disgusted. You see two dudes kissing, it may make you extremely uncomfortable, and the reason it makes you uncomfortable is not because it's wrong, it's because it's different. We naturally fear things that we do not understand or we do not do ourselves. So if something is extremely awkward or something different, it's going to make you feel a little weird about it. Now, Phil Robertson opened up and he said things just get a little weird. He'd start with homosexuality, start with their behavior and just morph it out from there. Bestiality, sleeping around with this woman and that woman and that woman and these men. Don't be deceived. Neither the adulterers, the idolaters, the male prostitutes, the homosexual offenders, the greedy, the drunkards, the slanderers, the swindlers, they won't inherit the kingdom of God. Don't deceive yourself. It's not right. So what he's saying is just everybody else that is not on the path of the Lord is just not going to be great. They're not going to be received, and they're not worthy. So what he is saying is very, very disrespectful to other people, because he's not thinking outside the box. He's closed-minded. He's thinking that the only path is the path of God. And that's not true. There's never, ever only one way to go about something. There is always an option B. In everything you do, there's an option B. Above all, his foundation is based on religion. Christianity, to be more precise, and the Bible. He lives by it. The man lives by a book written by another man 2,000-something years ago. Amen. I, for one, do not share his same belief. I do not believe in a God. Not because I don't, believe in God, but because I don't care to. It doesn't bother me. If God was to step down from the heavens right now, hop right out of his brand new Mustang, and was like, "What's up, Dustin? What's going on, bro? Pound it. How's that kid-E ratio?" I'm going to be like, "Really? For serious?" I'm going to look at him, and I'm going to ask him straight up one question, and it's going to be, what happened? How did you make something so specific, so incredible as the human being, but to give us this many flaws and not do something about it? I can't believe in a divine being, because if you're going to worship somebody that is capable of creating us, but creates us with this many flaws, lets it go, okay, I can't get by it. Did you not create an undo button? I mean, just thinking, I will never ever believe in God unless he was to come down here, and then I believe in him, and then nothing in my life changes, because I don't respect it. I don't believe that there is a person in this. Now, what I do believe in is religion. I believe it's a great, powerful tool for people, so do not get me wrong. Whereas I do not believe in God, I do not wish to participate in any of his worships or services, does not mean I don't say, don't do that. If my son wants to grow up and be a pastor, preacher, whatever hell he wants to do, I'm going to support him. He can be a gay preacher for all I care. I'm going to support him no matter what happens. I may not believe in gay, the actual acts of being gay, but I'm not also to tell somebody they can't do something. And that's what he was saying. You can't go to heaven if you're one of those people. And he put them down and he classified them into a specific group. And that was wrong of him. That, in my mind, is a sin. And this is what this whole thing comes down to. So, I respect the man for speaking up and saying what he wanted to say. I understand his reasons. I have a lot of gay friends, and I want them to be able to get married. I want them to be able to do and have the same amount of rights that everyone else does, because that's called equality, and that's what we're all entitled to. Now, the world doesn't work that way. We don't all get the same blessings as another person, but we got to take what we got, what we have, and we got to apply that to our world and make this world a better place. Now, with him, he spoke his mind, and I'm fully okay with it. Now, I do not believe his things, but I will stand behind him and support him, because what he said is how he feels, and how we feel and our opinions are what define ourselves. Our beliefs, our word, are what define us as people and how people perceive us. So again, I may not have the same beliefs as him, but I support him, and the fact that his foundation is built upon religion and something that I think is pure joke, and is something that I don't honestly believe in a higher being. That's just how it is. I mean, if ever had the opportunity, I would have to be proven. I'm not looking for God. I don't care to find God. I don't need God. But if he was to come to me and he's like, "Dude, I made you. We did all this stuff. Trust that things are going to be okay. Everything happens for a purpose." I'm going to be like, "Really? So explain cancer, death, murder, rape, Justin Bieber. Can we understand what the fuck happened with Justin Bieber?" So you're going to sit down and you're going to think about all these things, and you're going to look at this, because to worship somebody that is to let us be how we are and to create a world like this, he is the biggest flaw ever. That to me is the biggest mistake ever, because no matter what happens, that's how it ends up. You know how all these people blame parenting for bad kids doing bad things? If God is our parent, I mean, who do you hold responsible for creating something like this? This world is weird. There's a lot of people, and every person has their own beliefs. There's not a single person in this world that has the same feeling about the same things as another person, and it's what makes us unique. So I respect his decisions, his comments, openly doing it. I respect the hell out of him, knowing that there would be backlash, but he felt he should do it, and he thought it was the right thing to do. And for that, I applaud the man. Do I agree with what he said? Hell no. I wouldn't put the same people that, do bestiality and drunks and homosexuals on the same page, because I don't think homosexuality is a flaw. I just think it's different and maybe not so much natural. So I have a lot of gay friends, and I will support them no matter what. I won't let them get bullied. I can't stand any of that shit, and I can't stand people that follow religion to a point that they will condemn and blame a person for being flawed because they do not follow in the same path. That is ignorance. That is stupidity at best. So that's my story on this. I wanted to touch base on it because I respect the man for stepping up. I don't think anybody should ever tell somebody they can't do something. If you want to be racist, be racist. Acting on that and treating somebody horribly different and being disrespectful or hurting them or harming them, that makes you a bad person. At no point is anything weaker. You don't beat dogs either. You don't do any of that stuff. That is a flaw with the person. So racism is just simply thinking you're better than somebody else. We just naturally think we're better than people at certain things. I know I'm a better recon than you. I don't care what you say. I'm amazing. I'm right. Shut up. That's the same mentality a racist may have. For the same reason that Mr. Robertson right there thinks he's better than other people because he has found God and is on that path. He feels he's in a position to tell other people that they are lesser because he thinks he's doing what he thinks is right. Now, there is a difference between acting on what you think is right. For example, Hitler. Yeah, I brought up Hitler. He acted on his beliefs, but I think that there should be a level. I think everybody should back up what they feel on unless it harms another person. That should be the one safety precaution in the way. I think that, his belief, he was following it. I understand it, but I will straight up tell you it's the wrong thing because you can't force your opinion or your belief and make it fact. He was trying to do that, and he was flawed for that. And things get a little bit crazy. Homosexuality is looked at as a flaw because it's different, because we're just still adapting to the fact that it's becoming more and more mainstream. And in the end, religion's on the same boat. There is no proof or definition behind it. It is something that people believe in. They look for hope, for a cause, for a reason, for a purpose. And I support religion for that. I will support that. I've seen what it's done to my family during the worst situations in my life. I've seen how they've stayed strong through things that I could thought have not been possible. And what got them through that was religion. That does not mean I'm just going to quickly adopt the theory, but I see what it does for people. So I respect it and I let people do it because it doesn't affect me. And if it helps them, let them. This helped this guy by getting his word out there. And that's all it's going to come down to, is how you honestly feel about things. That's how life works. So now that we got into this and I had to touch base on such a topic, I'm sorry if I reiterated or just kept going in circles or anything like that. But thank you guys for listening. It's something I felt like doing. It's kind of a real talk, if you will. But I think people just need to calm the fuck down. This guy had an opinion. You don't like it. Deal with it. Move on. You don't have to make a big deal about it or write notes or write letters or say he's right or side with him. Nobody's asking you to pick a side. But I've always found it just amazing how when somebody gives their opinion about something, just naturally gives their feeling and thought about something, that it can be perceived as one of two things. For example, if I was to say that a certain commentator was monotone and boring as fuck and I can't understand why anyone watches that person's videos, that would probably put me under the category of a hater. But how is that a hater? How is that me being negative towards him? That's how I feel about it. I don't find that person entertaining. I don't understand why other people find that entertaining. So that's not necessarily hating, which is the same thing that Phil is dealing with. He's not hating on those people. He just thinks it's not right or doesn't understand it. That's simply what it comes down to. So it's still an opinion. But people lose track that even if something's negative, it's an opinion because they naturally get defensive and think that you're jealous or you're hating or you're envious or something like that. They naturally think there's another reason because anytime negativity is introduced, they just think it's because of jealousy or something. So if I was to say, oh yeah, oh my god, that was the best spaghetti I've ever had last night, then that's a good opinion. People praise me for it. If I say, oh wow, it seemed to be a little overcooked, people are going to be like, wow, why are you trying to hate for it? That's how it is! It's the truth. It's what I feel, motherfuckers. So that's just one thing I wanted to touch on, just a little sprinkle on top. Opinions get mixed up. For the same reason people say things, for the same reason I don't like other people. We all have different interests and different beliefs. I may say one commentator's boring as fuck and don't like him. You may love him and come to his defense because you don't understand what I'm coming from. And I'm not willing to buckle under your understanding because I have my own opinion. So we're kind of at this little standstill. So again, just understand people have different opinions. They're going to defend them no matter what. Deal with it. And by the way, God, if you're listening, please explain what the hell happened with Justin Bieber. Tell me you fell asleep on the keyboard. Tell me something happened. Speak to me. Text me. I don't care.